Hello, it's Michael Jaco with Unleashing Intuition Secrets. So here we are live on YouTube, but only for a short period of time because we know that YouTube does not like us, sharing information that is of interest to those of us that are patriots. Ha ha ha! That's right, YouTube. So yeah, we're gonna continue to put information out there on YouTube, and then I'll take it down and put it on Rumble. Today was the first day that I did a live, which I'm going to leave up. So I've learned how to go live on YouTube, and express me, but I learned to work around it. It's great when we, you know, work around these evil deep staters. And that's what YouTube is, and that's what Facebook is. They're basically puppets of the CIA, and they gather information on us, and then they take our information and they crush us. And once it's crushed, basically they can come around and use it again because they own it now, because they take us off and our videos. Those of us that are patriots and sharing information is stuck out there as basically they make money off of it. I never was monetized on YouTube. I had 200,000 on one channel. Then they took that down. Then I had almost 100,000 on another channel. They took that down. And now I have like 4,000. So, but you guys are coming back in. We'll make it happen. And because of that, we'll continue to inform each other. We'll keep spreading the word. Rumble is really popping. I have a lot of people on Rumble now. We'll probably go on some other channels, and as they come up, like Frank Speak or something like that, maybe I'll check that out and go over there and see what that's all about. See if I can post over there. Um, we got 107 Daily. It's been heavily suppressed, but maybe we can start to work over there once they figure out all the things that are being suppressed and work around them as well over there. Uh, it's I see just amazing going forward. I'm having a great time. I'm gonna be going on the Unrigged tour at some point. I plan on meeting them in Atlanta and kicking it off. I'll have the Lev Bowl there, and we'll start that out. I'm going to do a little demonstration for his security team, and also for people. Probably do a stage event where I show people how the love energy works. So everyone that comes into that will be in that love vibration, and that will help keep these deep state a-holes away. It's going to be very important going forward, especially in the Arizona election recount, the ballot recount that's going on, the audit of those ballots. Some problems there, because these deep staters very powerful, but at some point they will be overcome. I'm very confident of that. And there's a lot of other people that are very confident of that. So let's go into a screen share, and we will talk about some of this stuff. Mm, share the screen. There we go. So here I am in a Zoom meeting. So get that cleared off. And I'm going to bring up cryptocurrency. So a lot of you guys have been wanting to know about cryptocurrency. I like to keep sharing about this. Some of you guys just don't trust this thing, right? You've gotten in. I talked about Dogecoin probably about a year and a half ago when it was 0.002 something. And I put some money in it because I was like, I don't know why I'm putting money in this thing, but everything's like working out for me that I get these strongest intuitions on. So I'm going to put a little money in here. We'll see what happens now. Back then, I didn't have a lot of money. So it was very like, you know, and it went up. It's gone up big, and I've dollar cost averaged into it. Have a nice chunk of Dogecoin because I was also in XRP very early on. I got out when it went up big. I also had money in some other ones that we'll talk about. Cardano is my new love. Dogecoin, as you can see here, Dogecoin, 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 Dogecoin will go up over $1, guys. So, like I said, I was back in it when it was 0.02 something. It's going to be a big moneymaker for me. All right, and for those of you that listened to me and kept your money into it, some of you, I was like, all these things went up big that I told everybody to get into, and I was like, "You loving me now?" And they're like, "I sold it." I was like, "Oh my god!" Some of you guys, you need to become intuitive. You need to do my courses, please. And I'm not saying that because, I get money off that. It's because you're going to be intuitive and you're going to learn how to invest. You're going to learn how to talk to everybody because we're all going to be telepathic at some point, guys. Right? You guys are like, Mike, you're out there. I know I'm out there, but I'm always right on this stuff. So anyway, going forward, what's another one that I like a lot? So you got to go way out here. I invest in this one also way before it was $1 or 1 cent rather. And this is Digibyte. So Digibyte right here is another one of my stars. As you see today, it's almost 10%. It's been as high as like 16. I got into it well before it was 1 cent. So imagine putting $1,000 into something and it goes up to almost $10,000, right? It's just insane. It's insane to me. Or imagine putting $300 into something and it turns out to be worth almost 40,000. So you guys are not believers. Like I told you guys about basic attention token. Look how much that one's up now. Way back when it was like 20 cents, 10 cents, 20 cents. Raven coin. So sometimes I do paper trades. Now, paper trade is basically if I had the money to invest, I would invest in that thing. That would be Raven coin back when before it was a penny. Right now, look at it, 17 cents. I'm like, I wish I'd had the money back then. Ox is another one that I invested in early. I told you guys about. I pulled my money out of it and invested in other things. So Ox, well before it was $1, now it's almost $2. Will Dogecoin go to the moon? Dogecoin's going to the moon. Dogecoin, they call it a joke coin. It's a joke on all the other coins. So you're going to see that. All right. So anyway, let's move on. That's my crypto for today. My crypto maybe for the month. Because I tell you guys this stuff and you don't get involved in it, or you do get involved in it and you pull it out when it goes down. These markets go up, they go down. It's the way these things are. But if you're like a weak-handed person, that's what we call people that come in and invest, and then when the market goes down, they pull their money out because they don't want to lose. They don't want to lose a lot of money. I have lost a lot of money in the stock market in the past. I don't lose money anymore. I went into NASDAQ, made a bunch of money, you pulled it out. NASDAQ is down now, down big. I'm like, yeah, I got up before it went down. All right, Greg Manarino, I'm sorry, and Gregory. Man's amazing. He's helped me a lot. And I highly recommend, like I've had before in the past, you get in and listen to him. He and we both share a lot of the same opinions on the stock market and the way they manipulate oil. Listen to what he has to say.
Frankly mind-boggling. And with regard to the price action of crude oil, it has no bearing on reality. There's no price discovery here either. Again, it's a fake market, just like everything. It's and nothing is what it seems here. Uh, in my view, the fair price for crude oil right now is probably around $19, $21 a barrel. We're at like 62 and change, almost 63 after the gain today on this apparent possibly an attack on an oil tanker. Imagine my surprise. I'm not sure what.
So this is what these clown towns do. They manipulate the markets, guys. So I used to be like, what is going on? This does not make sense. I would invest and the markets would like go the other way. It's like it wasn't logical because they manipulate the market. So as an intuitive now, I don't invest with logic anymore. That's dumb. It's stupid to be a logical investor. You have to be intuitive. If you're not an intuitive investor, you get your sack crushed, right? I don't like my sack crushed. So I'm an intuitive investor and my sack is happy, right? Be a sack happy investor and become intuitive. All right. So let's look at some other stuff that he was talking about.
Tomorrow. Yellowstein Powell himself. Okay, the man is not a man at all. I think most of you know that. Watch the market, watch that 10-year yield. Let's see what happened with crude. Was there really an attack, or is this just are they jawboning? You have to understand. They don't even have to. Doesn't even have to be a real incident with regard to crude oil or energy. No, no, no. They just have to jaw. They just have to say it. They're gonna float out a story, and whammo, it goes higher. Like today, over 2% with crude oil. Anyway, that's what pushed the Dow higher. That's what pushed the market off the lows today. Again, I can't overstress to you the importance of crude oil for the market. Is the lifeblood of the market. It's the lifeblood of the military industrial complex, and you know that. All right, people, look, long video kind of, but really important.
Amazing, right? So once you become intuitive, once you start to see, and I'm sorry, I know a lot of ladies watch my programs, and I know you don't have sacks, but you know it's kind of relative. In a way, you have something much better. So whatever that loveliness that you have, invest, use that to invest, and you're going to do extremely well as an intuitive investor. So as we move forward, amazing things are going to happen for those of us that are intuitive. We start to beat them at their own game. I talked about how the craziness that happens with the uh, football and all the other sports. It's all manipulated. I've seen it overseas. I was part of the CIA. Hello. I know that all this stuff is manipulated. I've seen behind the scenes, pedophilia, child trafficking, human trafficking, weapons trafficking, drug trafficking. I know it all. They don't play games with me because I've seen it. I've told you about it. And if you still want to disbelieve that stuff goes on, it's up to you. But once you see the bigger picture of the way things are manipulated, we can leave this stuff behind. We can have a world that's free of that. But you have to become aware of it first. And if you become aware of it and you become aware of the manipulations, you can work to help to build the new future. And that's what we're trying to do. All right. How do we do that? We stay in that loving energy. The loving energy allows you to do that. I had this one amazing, loving, beautiful soul, Sherry Div on today. That is one that I can leave on my YouTube channel. So I highly recommend that you go and check that out. It's unbelievable what she shared. Now look at the numbers. 1,541 views. You're like, why? It's like hardly anybody's watching that. Well, let's look at that. So we know that things are manipulated, just like we talked about. Let's look at this manipulation here. Let's go into my YouTube studio, and you're going to see, oh, didn't we just see that there was like under 4,000? Yeah, there is. Because they manipulate those numbers, they restrict those numbers, they suppress those numbers, they suppress if you try and find my new YouTube studio. All right. So over 4,000 now subscribers. You guys are like jacking it back up. Thank you very much. Let's look at the analytics. Remember, there was only 1,500. And so right here, it says there's 2.3K views. Let's go to the video analytics. So right now, that's in the last 60 minutes. But if you look at the last 48 hours, there's 5,149 views on that. Why are they still holding it at 1,548 views, whatever that was back there? Because they play games. They play games. When you start to see the games these people play, you start to work around it like we're working around it now. So we got the Rumble, we do live on this, and then we yank it off because they will crash my YouTube again if I put this kind of information out there. And so we just work it live, take it down, put it on Rumble. I have the link on my Facebook accounts where there's tens of thousands of people in my Facebook accounts now, and they see that link and they go in and look at it. Right, so we're keeping each other informed, still spreading this information, but they're gonna continue to restrict because that's what they do. And once you realize that, then we move on. Like John Kerry, who is an absolute traitor and probably will be executed at some point if he hasn't been already. But it sounds like he is still around out there. I don't know. I would have thought this boy would have been like, pulled in and big fat bullet in the back of the head. But, maybe the firing squad hasn't happened for him yet, but it will. So an audio file received by Iran International contains only one brief sentence from Zarif. Zarif made interesting comments about uh, John Trader Kerry. He was complaining about the power of the Revolutionary Guard over Iran's foreign affairs, and he asked rhetorically, should Kerry tell me that Israel has conducted more than 200 attacks, airstrikes against us, Iran, in Syria? So Zarif does not say when Kerry made the remark. So we've already heard that Kerry. We actually have the video and the comments where he said, "Don't worry." This was during Trump's administration. Don't worry, Trump will lose and we'll be back. Remember that? I guess he was right, wasn't he? I thought, fat chance there, Trader Boy. But, these guys manipulate stuff. And I think they were allowed to manipulate stuff to the point where we can see who all the baddies are. And definitely Kerry, soon to be executed traitor, will be, eating these words. So karma is coming for these people. And that's the way the future is. It's just the way it is. Uh, can't escape it. And the Time story alleges that Zarif was hearing Kerry's words to his astonishment, but it's unclear if he was astonished that he had to learn this information from Kerry instead of his own government, or if he was astonished that he had learned it from Kerry at all. Obviously, the news that the Israelis had attacked Iran was not surprising. After all, the mutual hostility between the two countries is well known. So Kerry basically sharing information with Iran. Why is that? Why do the Democrats love these evildoers so much? It's unbelievable to me. Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan. Yeah, I'm going to have a podcast soon. Joe Rogan, come on my show, or maybe I'll come on your show. It'll happen. Under heavy fire for if he's still around. So he makes these comments. I don't know. They're going to let him stay. Joe Rogan under heavy fire for giving young people this advice. Joe Rogan told listeners of his wildly popular podcast, there's no need to get the COVID-19 vaccine if they're young and fit. Ooh, deep state gonna come for you, Joey. So that big contract you did with Spotify, they've been taking your stuff down. And Joe's like, they said that was part of the contract. Make a deal with the devil. It's not a good thing, Joe. So anyway, I've been saying that Joe is going to go big for a long time, well before he did, and here he is. More power to him with his pink shirt on there. You have to be a real man to wear a pink shirt, so he's pulling it off very well there. So anyway, Joe, I wish you the best of luck, and like I said, uh, love to come on your show someday. So CDC says fully vaccinated people don't need masks outdoors. Have been wearing them anyway, uh, all along. So now CDC says fully vaccinated. So they're trying to get those holdouts. I'm a holdout. You're a holdout. He's a holdout. She's a holdout. We're a holdout, because we know that thing is a bioweapon. So no bioweapon for me and no bioweapon for you. Here a bioweapon, there a bioweapon. So no bioweapons happening for us. But some people, unfortunately, have been sucked into that, and they're paying a very bad price for that. This isn't progress, rather it's a correction to their erroneous prior, statements. It still doesn't go far enough. They're setting the stage. They're setting the stage that we won't be able to go outdoors anymore without a vaccine. That's the way these baddies work, guys. You know that. So we got to take them down before that happens. I think uh, that's what I'm thinking. CDC: fully vaccinated people should wear masks in certain settings, avoid large gatherings. So Tucker Carlson said that parents, see this little girl, parents that force their children to wear masks should face consequences, and I agree with that because just like Joe Rogan said, if you're young and fit, you do not need the vaccine. You do not need to wear a mask, especially outdoors. So you brainwash people that are forcing your kids to wear a mask. Mm-mm-mm. So Tucker Carlson's facing a lot of kickback and pushback for his comments about that. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention issued updated, because people were like, oof, let's run with that. Everybody's throwing out their mask. For fully vaccinated persons on Tuesday, recommending that they continue to take precautions such as wearing a well-fitted mask while in indoor public settings. Whoa, 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 whoa. So you get this vaccine, and if you're out by yourself, if you're running by yourself, if you're climbing the mountains by yourself, which I've seen unbelievably hiking in the mountains, people wearing masks. Ah, ah, oh my God. But they're usually from San Francisco. So Lake Tahoeans don't do that, except in certain crowded settings and venues. Recommend them continue large gatherings. The April 27th guidance listed a range of activities it believes fully vaccinated people can now do, which includes visiting with other fully vaccinated people. Now, like I put out in my show and other doctors have put out, fully vaccinated people should actually be together, but they should be quarantined together because they are a threat to us, those of us that are not vaccinated. And that's becoming more and more obvious as we move forward. So single household who are at low risk for severe COVID-19 disease. So lots of people getting that COVID, going back home and infecting other people in their household with COVID. Like an 88-year-old grandmother that was living with this one knucklehead that got a vaccine, came back, got her infected, and she died. So it's like, do it for granny, right? Do it to kill granny is what they want. That's right. They they we've already seen the people that Joe Biden has put in his administration. They have made comments that the elderly are useless feeders. They're trying to get rid of them, guys. We already know that. They killed a bunch of them in several states already by putting infected people back into homes where people were not infected, and killed tens and tens of thousands of them all across the country. So this is going to go on. More and more people are going to die from this, as they are dying right now from this. So if you're indoor in a public spaces, the vaccinated status of other people or whether they are at increased risk for severe COVID-19 is likely unknown. So it doesn't matter that you've been vaccinated. If you go into an arena with people like me who are super healthy and don't ever get sick, you might get sick even if you're vaccinated. Now, I kind of agree with that. I think you should not go into indoor arenas with people that are not vaccinated because you might get us sick. That's what I'm thinking. So, and that's what's going to be, guys. So you guys are getting people that are getting vaccinated out there are an incredible risk to us right now. All right, so this is big. This is huge. The thing that's going on in Arizona right now. So someone that's from Arizona sent me this, and she said that uh, that the judge. I'll just read it. Said the dark side is bringing in the heavy artillery. They convinced the judge who is on our side to recuse himself, and the one they replaced him with is deep state dirty. So this happened yesterday. They have brought in more than 70 dirty, high power lawyers to fight us. That's the Arizonans and the ones that are trying to do this, uncover this election fraud. Lawyers that work for people like the Clintons. They are working at compromising people as fast as they can. They burnt down a legislator's egg farm. This is only the beginning, and who knows what else they have done. Antifa and BLM are moving into the Phoenix area. And in spite of President Trump stating, we need police and military ready to control the situation, the deep shit Governor Ducey has sent our National Guard to the southern border, making the situation there vulnerable. We need to call in the big guns. That means you. She's talking about me. So I'm willing to do what I can, and maybe you can ask that all the people who follow your Intuition Secrets program follow your instructions to neutralize the bad guys. So we will do that. We will, call in the forces of light. And I tell you what, if I still lived in Arizona, in Sedona, I would probably be in my car down there every day, hanging out, making sure that everything is safe. I'd probably have, because you know what? Arizona is open carry. I'd probably be decked out in my with my guns and my body armor and everything else on, and I'd be standing out there with a sign, with a nice big sign, retired Navy SEALs for President Trump, because that's what we'd be doing, you know, and the deep shitters would be shaking in their boots. So what's going on there in Arizona? Let's listen a little bit.
And letting some people around America in on what's going on in Arizona.
Yeah, well, good to be with you. Appreciate the opportunity to speak to you and the audience. Happy to answer questions. There's definitely been a lot of them coming our way because of the audit underway. Really just got underway finally after months of fighting it out in the courts. So yeah, good to be with you and happy to answer any questions.
Awesome, thank you. And really, I just have three basic questions, and they are really simple. What exactly is happening? Like, are they going into the machines? Are they looking for names? Are they trying to match things up? Like, what is the specific things they're doing or wanting to do? Secondly, what's the argument from the other side as to why we should not be able to do this? And then lastly, what should other Americans outside of Arizona be looking for or expecting or anything like that? So let's just make it short and sweet. First question, what exactly is it Republicans are hoping to do during this audit specifically?
So I want to be very clear about what the audit is not. The audit is not just a recount. We are not sort of retreading or relitigating the 2020 election. The audit is meant to make sure that that the system we have in place is working, the machines were calibrated properly, that the ballot count, so in this sense there's a counting component, but lines up. But we're not here to overturn any election. We just, as policymakers, have had a lot of folks express a lot of skepticism. It can be anything from a procedural or chain of custody issue with the voting information to the actual count. Actual fraud occurring either through the machines or people voting that shouldn't have been voting. So we're just going to take a look at all of it. We're not going into it with any preconceived ideas or conclusions about what we're going to find. We're just going to try to be as objective as we can. And that's everything from looking at the machines to looking at the ballots. Now, one thing that you mentioned we will not be doing is there's nothing in this that identifies any voter. So there's no names. Once a ballot is removed from an envelope, there's nothing, you don't write your name on the ballot. And so there won't be any kind of privacy issues. It will still be a secret ballot, but we can look at those ballots.
It seems to me, let me jump in real quick. It seems to me like you're saying, as the legislature oversees the manner and time and such of elections. You're saying we want to look at this so that we're just clear going forward. We have the best kind, but I can already hear the wheels spinning amongst people watching the video. I'm sure you can too. But what if you find out that it was, off by 30%?
Yeah.
What if you find out that this was just wrought with craziness?
Then we'll need to fix it moving forward. Again, there's nothing we can do about, the past elections. So we can make sure if something nefarious happened, if it was deliberate, I mean, then we're talking criminal activity,
Criminal, yeah.
prosecute. But if it's something different, we are just going to keep an open mind and be open to what solutions will make sure that any potential issue does not happen again.
Does the state legislature have prosecutorial power, or would they need to turn that over to perhaps the attorney general, or how would that work? Let's say you did find out that maybe not even widespread, but in certain spots there was illegal activity. What would happen from that?
We don't have law enforcement power. We have investigative power, which is what this is. This was prompted, legislative subpoena to make sure that we get information we need to inform policy-making decisions. But at whatever point, if there was something that we found evidence or otherwise, we would turn that over to the appropriate law enforcement authority, and then they would pursue it on their own. In the meantime, we would try to put safeguards in place to make sure whatever hypothetically happened can't happen again.
If you found some things, maybe not malicious, but just things that were just bad and caused problems, is that something you feel comfortable that you could get fixed by the 2022 election? I mean, obviously, depending upon how much it was. But.
Yeah, I mean, with that caveat, I would say yes. And I think it is important to understand, there's a continuum of sort of outright fraud to process problems. Now, a lot of people lump that crudely under the fraud umbrella, but they're very different. And so it just depends on what we find, and we would put policies in place depending on. Yeah.
This seems completely reasonable to me. In fact, I would say that if the Democrats were in charge, what you're saying would seem completely reasonable to me. Let's make sure that our process works, right? Okay, so with that, the Democrats don't want this to be happening, and there's lawsuits and there's everything. Tell us what's going on and tell me why you think, what's the problem? What's their problem with this, do you think?
I think it's mostly political. Since the cost to the taxpayer is relatively small, in part because we've had folks sort of donating their time, donating the resources they're interested in this project. So from my perspective, they're just throwing wrenches in the spokes and trying to tangle things up. I don't understand why, because the results are going to be the results. It's going to be a fully transparent process, so you'll be able to see them. If you have complaints about how it's done, fine, then bring those up. But to stop it from even happening, it just makes it look bad. I mean, they can accuse us of, well, you're perpetuating the big lie, but we've come back with, well, there's no harm. There's nothing to hide, right? This is just about what the result is. We need to make sure that it's an election of integrity. And so I don't get it. I don't get the other side.
I mean, think about this. If I was a Democrat and we were completely innocent, I would say, let's get all the top Republicans. Let's get them all to get on record that they think that this was bad and blah, 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 whatever. And then let's just open the books and go, see, these people are conspiracy theorists. And then I'd run ads against you, every single district in Arizona. That's what I would do if I didn't have anything to hide. I'd lead you right to the trap and then just pull the string and off you guys go looking like you're nuts. This is why it tells me that there's a real problem, but that's just my opinion.
Well, and it doesn't help that the media is complicit in this, the narrative. Every time they say, well, there's no evidence of fraud, no evidence of fraud. Right. It has no bearing on whether there is or isn't evidence. We have a serious trust issue, which they just dismiss. I have never heard from so many people who are telling me, why would I go vote anymore? I don't believe the outcome. I don't think the process has integrity. That's alarming. That's an existential threat to democracy. And the other side just says, oh, no, we just need to convince people to trust us.
So definitely some excellent points. Why would I go vote anymore? I think that's what happened in Georgia, where those two demon rat senators got elected and basically tilted the Senate. So they're talking about doing the same thing with the Supreme Court. They're basically taking us to an authoritarian system. So with an authoritarian system, there's only one group that rules, and whatever they say, if you were to resist that, they have the option of putting you in jail and so forth. Also, a fascist system is where we're headed to as well. In a fascist system, basically, there's only a few corporations that run everything. So that's what they're doing right now. They're trying to destroy business. They've done a very good job of that. So they've pretty much destroyed small business, which is the backbone of a capitalist system, and they're trying to run us into a communist system. So basically, the United States, I believe, has been couped. There has been a coup here in the United States, and we have a false uh, government that's running our country right now. It's absolutely a coup. As for all my experience, 24 years in the SEAL teams, SEAL Team 6, 11 years in the CIA, watching and studying all of this information on governments around the world. Basically, the United States has had a coup happen. And the only way that we can overcome that is through this audit that can conceivably expose the corruption and the coup that happened. And that's why they're fighting that so hard. There are authoritarians that are coming in and basically snatching up everything, throwing open the borders so that we're flooded with illegal aliens. With basically a lot of these people are criminals that are coming across. They've been stopping them out as fast as they can. They've let criminals out of the prisons all across the country. It's an attempt to destroy America. And they've also, got to the point where police officers are not are leaving in droves. There's very few, if any, that are screening to become police officers. So they're destroying the police all around us while they're letting out criminals, and while they're letting criminals come across the border. So this is an all at taxpayers' expense. So we're paying for this. The national debt is going up at an astronomical level. They're manipulating the stock market in the meantime, manipulating the price of oil so they can bring in their ridiculous Green New Deal where they'll profit even more, like they did during the Obama administration. So all of this is part of their plan. So they're going to try and stop out this audit in Arizona with everything they can. And if there's any, patriots left in Arizona, I highly recommend you get involved. One of the things we're going to do right now is have a meditation. We'll have a meditation to, have the audit there in Arizona go off without a hitch. And it's dicey because I see some problems with it. But I'm going to send as much energy as I can to help it. If I feel there is a need, I will jump in my car and I will go to Arizona. All right. So that might be something we might have to do. So Arizonans, Texans, anywhere, this might be a battle stand, there in Arizona. So just be ready for that. I'm sure a lot of you are. Of course, even on Rumble, this might get taken down for me talking like this, but it has to be said. So I hope a lot of you are listening and that you share this information and you're ready to respond if you need to. All right. So this is it. This is it for America. If Arizona doesn't go down, America's done. All right, let's meditate on it. Let's take in a deep breath. Get the Sedona Love Bowl, you Arizonans. All right. So I pray that you Arizonans, those of you that are still patriots, you get involved in this. And if you need my help, if I have to come there, I shouldn't have to come there. There should be like millions of you there that can like step up. But if I have to and others have to, that's absolutely what will happen. Because I absolutely see this as the last stand of America here with this election fraud being exposed in Arizona. We'll see what happens. All right. Take in a deep breath. Any tension you have in your body, build it up, and let it go. So let's take in another deep breath. Any remaining tension you might have, let's build it up with the breath and let it go. Now imagine you're surrounded by a golden ball of light that is healing and protective. And now imagine another golden ball of light that is forming outside of your protective golden ball of light. And send that golden ball of light to Arizona to protect those that are doing this audit, to protect the audit itself from these extremely evil people that are trying to stop it out, from the deep state media that's trying to twist the information that's happening there in a negative light, and all of those that will participate with their energies. Keep mounting those energies, keep sending that love, that energy for protection and for this election fraud to be exposed. Keep sending that throughout the days as we move forward until this election fraud is finally exposed. All right, now bring your attention back to your body, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes if you had them closed, and I'll see you guys next time. So remember, Rumble, that's Michael, Michael J, 5326. 5326 is the Navy SEAL enlisted classification. So I just threw that in there so that will be a little bit easier for you guys to remember that. Michael J, 5326 on Rumble. That's where this is going. If you're watching on Rumble, subscribe, and there's lots of information in there right now. And I'll keep sharing this information as we go forward. All right, lots of love, everyone.